Hello and welcome everyone to Pandora's Tarot. These are the readings for the month of September. As I always say, please remember to check your rising and your moon sign as well as your sun sign so you get a full picture of the energies that are available to each and every one of you throughout the month of September. For those of you who are interested in astrology, September is a really important month. The energies are shifting. It's eclipse month. There are two actually. One is lunar and one is solar eclipse. So do check your favorite YouTube astrologer because September really is a month where all the energies that we have been, feeling up until this moment in the year will shift into something much more positive. So do check them out. And of course, if you would like a private reading, you can contact me at pandorastarot@gmail.com. The information is in the box below this video, so you can just copy paste from there. Okay, so I will see you again at each of every one of your readings. And of course, I always say thank you for spending your time with me, for commenting and subscribing and sharing and liking. So thank you for being a part of this community. Okay, let's move on to the readings. Welcome back, Virgo. Let's focus right away on your reading, the cards that we have in front of us. So we have in the challenge position the Sun card in reverse. Now, this is a card that in reverse means that we are lacking energy, that we are being drained, that most importantly, we're not being recognized. When we have the Sun in the upright position, we have a card that talks about having a lot of energy, having joy and fun, and it's even related to kids, to children, to that type of energy and constant joy that kids have. And it also talks about the sun shining upon us. So recognition, we're seeing, so recognition is associated with this card. The fact that it comes up in the reverse and the fact that it also comes up in the challenge position means that this is a situation where there is a situation that is actually draining you, where you haven't been receiving the recognition you feel it is rightfully yours. Okay, and actually the tarot agrees with you. And it also comes up in the challenge. So, this is not something that suddenly happens in September. This is something you have been dealing in the previous months, Virgo. And what I feel it happens because you're not the first sign where this comes up, a situation where that hasn't been so good, and in the month of September it's like enough is enough. Okay, I'm moving on from this because it's not worthy of my time, it's not worthy of my energy, it's just not something I want to keep as a part of my life. I don't want to keep using my energy, my life energy, to deal with this. And so we have this situation that has been going on for I think it's something that has to do with even months from before of this month of September, especially because Virgos are really good with working backstage, being able to take not the back seat, but we're really good at working back, with things that no one wants to deal with. I'll organize this. Don't worry, I'll make all the list of calls that it has to be done. And, we're good with that sort of thing, even administrative work and bureaucratic work even, we're very organized. So that leads us sometimes to being stuck in situations when we end up organizing everyone else's lives and then no one recognizes that. Okay, whether if that's the actual case that happens to you, this is the example that pop up in my mind, but this is the situation that you are willing to put an end to. Okay, you're ready for the situation to end, and by the middle of the month, I believe it will. Here's the thing: I feel you're sensing, or we are all sensing, us Virgos, we are sensing that this situation is just, you can't stretch it any longer. It has played out itself completely. So we have in the center of the reading another major arcana card, the Death card. And this is a card that talks about transition. This is a card that talks about one thing dying and another one being born. We have death here in the horse, and then we have the sun coming up here. Okay, so it's like night and day, you know. It's a point of when we see done. So we have the night ending, and at the same time the sun is starting to come up, which at the same time it could be this sun, you know. It's finally coming up on your side, on, you know, to reflect upon you, to illuminate you, Virgo. So you will eventually, with this change, hopefully you will receive the recognition that is rightfully yours. But for that to happen, you need to let this death take place, take its course. Okay, don't try to stop it. Don't. I know sometimes change is, it is curses all of us. You know, we don't like change. We prefer things to stay the same way they are, because we don't know what might come up, right? But this is not good, and we all know it actually. So let this transition happen. Lets us shed what no longer serves us, which is this situation, and move on to something else. When Death card comes up, you know, when I was starting to learn the tarot many years ago, actually, the image of the Death card came up with, or the explanation of the Death card came with the image of a serpent, you know, of a snake shedding its skin, and they say that snakes actually try to find some kind of branch of a tree where they can pass through that and scratch off the skin that is not longer them. Okay, so it is that sort of situation, you know. And also acknowledging what is not yours anymore, what is not you anymore, it's a good thing. It's a good rite of passage, actually. So in that position of things, you have to accept. We have the Three of Wands, a really good card actually, because this is a card that talks about many opportunities unfolding in front of you. It's a card of contemplating the new paths that you might be able to take now that you have been liberated from this. Okay, so change, death brings on new paths. And the thing with this card is that it is a card of contemplation. It's not so much of action. So maybe in the month of September you don't actually choose a new path, but you see them unfolding in front of you. So that's a good thing. We have here the person in this card is seeing the ships. He's watching the ships coming over, right? Coming to shore, and he's contemplating on which one he wants to get on, you know, which one he wants to aboard, because each ship will take him to a different place. So it's a good thing that comes up in the things that will happen no matter what. And in the help you're going to receive, we have the Four of Pentacles. This is a card that talks about being cautious. Don't overspend. Don't be reckless. You know, Virgo doesn't usually tend to be too crazy, especially not about money. As a general thing, none of the earth signs are. But it actually comes in handy. So again, this is an attitude you have been having in the previous months of saving, of not spending, frivolously. So this comes in handy now that you're transitioning into something else. So say you are trying to leave behind a job that didn't recognize all your efforts, and then you say, you know what, I'm gonna start interviewing and going to trying to find a different job, and opportunities, you know, you give the chance for this transition to happen, and opportunities start to follow through. You know, you get perhaps offers, and between the job, the next job that you actually choose, and this one that you are going to leave behind, maybe there's a period of time where you won't be working. So this attitude of saving money, it's something that actually comes in handy, because you will be able to quit the job that doesn't recognize you and doesn't actually acknowledge your value as a worker sooner. Okay, you won't have to put up with them as much as you won't have to put up with them because you have a backup, you know. So that's a good thing that you have been holding back on that money or that resource, you know, or being cautious in any way, actually, any way that you might have been, Virgo, actually comes in handy to this transition. As the final card, we have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is a card that symbolizes success, so that's a good thing, okay? This transition, this ending, and this new beginning actually is a very, or gives way to something really successful. So it could be that you're very successful at your new job. It could be that if you're starting a new life in a new city, if you are deciding to put an end to a relationship, that's another thing about how this could actually play out. You know, maybe you are with someone who does not value as a person, you know. So if that's the case, get out of that relationship now. Okay, I don't even care what the rest of the cards are. Life is just too short. Okay, we have to be with people who appreciate us, who love us, and that we can, it's not just, you know, in this situation you're giving and receiving nothing in return. So life is too short to waste it on something like this. This change is very successful, and I believe you're going to see the success of this change by the end of this month. That's how much we all need this change. Okay, like I said before, this is a card that represents success. It represents also a clear mind, being able to have a sharp mind like the sword, to be able to separate what serves us from what should keep. You know, what is it that we need to throw away, what is it that we can keep, what is it that what is a lie from what is truth. That's another way, you know, this could play out. So overall, it's actually a good month because the necessary change happens and the results start to come in almost at the same time, and you realize that you have made the right decision, Virgo. So I hope this is helpful. I want to thank everyone who watches, likes, and comments my videos. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll see you next month. Take care.